Okay, welcome back to another Angular video. And I don't know how many videos now we've been doing the basics of Angular, trying to relearn it as I called this series because I've learned Angular in the past. I've made a web app at work, and now I've kind of forgot it because I haven't had to go back to it yet. So I thought it'd be fun to quote unquote relearn it, or if you're new to it entirely, maybe this tutorial will help you out. And today we're going to talk about template variables, how you can use them. This is going to be a pretty brief video, but this might be something that you may use in one of your apps. So I thought I would show it off. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. You can look back at all of my other programming videos. I'm having the desire now to maybe start doing some videos with Oracle, because that's the database that I use at work, and I've learned a lot of Oracle, whether it just be the basic SQL syntax to, procedures and such. Maybe we can make a series on that too. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to do today. We're going to show you how you can use template variables. And Angular here on their website, they say template variables help you use data from one part of a template and another part of a template. It's that easy. At least it sounds that easy. But what does that really mean? So let's go ahead and spin up our web app, ng-serve-o. You probably have that ingrained in your brain by now if you've watched these videos. And while this is spinning up, let's talk about what I want to do. So let's say our website on the homepage, we allow the user to enter their name, and then they become a part of our subscribers or our list of folks that enjoy our website of movies. We want to thank them. Maybe it's an email list. I don't know. I guess an email list is probably more realistic. But in our case, we're going to collect people's names, and we're going to have an input on the front page. So down here, I want to have an input and then a button for them to submit their name. So right here, let's put an input. Gee, me, I can't type. There we go. An input. And then below it, we're going to put a break and then a button. And this is just going to say submit name. Notice we don't have a click event here yet. We need to create that. And really all this click event is going to do, it's just going to fire off an alert, and it says hello or welcome so-and-so, whatever that person's name is. So let's go ahead and create that event. I'll first call it right here. So click is going to be equal to something, and then let's create that something in our code behind in our home component TypeScript. So let's call this show message, and we're going to pass in a variable that we're going to call name of type string, and it's going to return nothing, so void. And here we can just do alert welcome and then add that name. Now, if this were the real world, you'd probably want to do some kind of validation where you would check and make sure anything was at least entered. But as you know, in this series, we don't really do all of that stuff. This is just to show you how to use certain things. So let's copy the show message method that we created, and that's going to be what fires with this click event. And what we want to do is we want to get what did the user type in this input element, right? And this is what that Angular doc was talking about. We want a way to reference that particular input element and use it in other elements. In fact, this button element with the click event. So what we can do is we can give it a variable name. So to give any element a variable name, you do the pound symbol or the hash, and then give it some arbitrary name. So we can call this first variable. So we're going to name this first variable, and I'm going to copy that. And here, now we can say, get the value of first variable dot value. So first variable is referencing this whole input, and if we do dot value, that grabs the value that the user has hopefully typed in that input. Of course, we're not doing any validation to make sure that's correct, but we're going to assume. So now let's go ahead and go back to our web app. Here is our input. So if I put Tom as my name and I submit it, we now get an alert. It says welcome Tom. And notice how it did that. The button fired a click event to show off this alert, right? And how did it get the name Tom? We didn't do anything in the TypeScript. We didn't say, hey, grab this value that's bound. No, nothing's bound. We just passed in that value from the input with this template variable. So it's kind of a neat little way to reference other HTML elements within other HTML elements, if that makes sense. Play around with this. Try this out. Do exactly what I did. Create a little message method. Have a click event on a button. Have an input. Maybe do an email list. Maybe that's going to be your example. Try it out. I think it'll make sense if you are having a hard time following this. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. I'm not sure what we're going to cover yet. I hope you'll find it useful. So stay tuned. And thanks for watching.